You've been feeling it, the subtle distance, the quiet discomfort, the strange sense that your reality doesn't match who you are anymore. And what if I told you, this isn't confusion, this is the universe reshaping your timeline? Lately, your world has felt unfamiliar. Not chaotic, just different. Like the air around you carries a message you can't quite decode. People you once felt connected to now feel distant, blurry, almost as if they belong to a life you no longer inhabit. The conversations that once energized you now leave you strangely empty. The dreams you used to chase no longer feel like yours. The places that felt like home feel hollow, as if your spirit quietly packed its bags and moved somewhere else before your mind could catch up. You haven't changed overnight, the shift has been slow, subtle, patient. But it's unmistakable. You wake up with questions you never had before. Why does everything feel off? Why do I feel disconnected from my own life? Why do the people around me feel unfamiliar? And the most haunting question: why do I feel like I'm supposed to be somewhere else, doing something else, becoming someone else? Most people call this depression, burnout, emotional fatigue. But those explanations feel too small for what you're experiencing. This isn't heaviness, it's expansion. A silent expansion that your old life cannot hold. Here's the truth you've been avoiding. You didn't stop fitting in. You evolved. And your old reality can't recognize who you're becoming. Quantum physicists describe a moment where a particle exists in multiple possibilities, multiple versions of reality, until it collapses into one form when observed. What they don't teach in school is that your life works the same way. Before a moment becomes real, it exists as a probability. A timeline. A possibility. And when your consciousness elevates, when your internal frequency rises, the timeline you once lived in begins to dissolve. You've been taught to believe life is linear. But life isn't linear, it's layered. Multiple possibilities. Multiple identities. Multiple versions of you, waiting. And right now, deep in your nervous system, the version of you that no longer matches your old reality is trying to take over. Your desires have changed. Your intuition has sharpened. Your energy no longer resonates with what once defined you. This is why people fall away. Why old habits feel impossible. Why certain dreams feel lifeless. Why you feel restless even when nothing is wrong. It's not a breakdown. It's a breakthrough in slow motion, a quiet dismantling of the person you used to be. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who one day realized he no longer felt at home inside the life he created. His friends said he was distant, his coworkers said he was distracted, and he told himself he was just tired. But he wasn't tired. He was awakening. An awakening feels like losing your balance, until you realize the ground you were standing on was never stable to begin with. This is the problem most people never recognize. When your soul upgrades, your life glitches. Your identity feels unstable. Your intuition grows louder. And everything familiar, people, places, dreams, begins to fade. Not because you're lost. But because you're being guided toward a new timeline, one that matches who you truly are. At some point, you begin to notice the patterns. Small signs. Quiet synchronicities. Moments that feel too perfectly aligned to be coincidence. A song plays exactly when you're questioning your direction. A stranger says the very words you've been thinking. A repeating number appears on a receipt or a clock. You feel pulled toward places, ideas, and versions of yourself you once feared. This isn't magic. This is resonance. A cosmic handshake between your inner world and the field of possibilities surrounding you. Quantum physics has a principle often misunderstood but incredibly powerful. Coherence. When two energies vibrate at the same frequency, they naturally align. They attract. They influence each other. And when your consciousness begins to shift, you start aligning with events, opportunities, and people that match your new vibration. This discovery changes everything. It reveals a truth hidden in plain sight. Your life responds to your internal state long before it responds to your actions. That uneasy feeling you've been carrying. It's not fear, it's misalignment. Your old identity is vibrating at a frequency your soul no longer occupies. Think about the last time you tried to force yourself into a situation that didn't feel right. Maybe a relationship that drained you. A job that suffocated your creativity. A dream that once excited you but now feels meaningless. Your mind tried to push through it, but your spirit refused. Because your spirit knew. Your timeline was changing. There's a famous concept in quantum discussion. The observer affects the observed. Meaning your awareness, your consciousness, influences the outcome of a situation simply by interacting with it. Now imagine what happens when your awareness evolves. When your identity shifts. When the version of you observing your life no longer matches the version of you living it. Reality itself starts to rearrange. This is why you've been feeling disconnected. Your old reality is losing its ability to respond to the new you. Let me tell you about a woman named Elise. She worked the same job for 10 years, lived in the same apartment, saw the same friends every Thursday. But slowly, she began feeling detached, like she was watching her life instead of living it. Conversations felt shallow. Routines felt mechanical. Dreams she once chased felt childish. She thought she was losing passion. But passion wasn't the problem. Her consciousness had expanded past the container of her life. And when she finally allowed herself to listen, really listen, she realized the universe had been whispering to her for years. You're experiencing that same whisper. That same pull. That same invitation into a higher version of yourself. This is the discovery. You are not meant to fit into the life you are outgrowing. Your discomfort isn't a punishment, it's a guide. A signal. A spiritual sign that a new timeline is forming around you. This part guides the viewer into the slow, cinematic, mysterious transformation. The method is not about forcing change. It's about listening. Observing. Allowing. Because the universe doesn't respond to desperation, it responds to coherence. Here's how you align with the timeline you're being pulled toward. 1. Stillness, the soft reset. Find a quiet moment. Sit. Breathe. Forget who you were supposed to be. Forget what others expect from you. Forget the version of you that no longer feels real. Ask one question. What version of me is trying to emerge? Not, what do I want? Not, what should I do? But, who am I becoming? This question opens the door. 2. Emotional coherence, feel the future. Close your eyes. Imagine the version of you who already feels aligned. Not successful. Not perfect. Aligned. Feel. Their calm. Their confidence. Their clarity. Their peace. Quantum alignment requires emotion, not hope. 3. Micro-identity shift, subtle becoming. Each day, adopt one tiny behavior of your future self. Not big steps. Not giant leaps. Small signals to the universe. Speak like the aligned version of you. Walk like them. Make one choice they would make. Say no to one thing they'd never accept. Say yes to one thing they'd embrace. Identity isn't changed through force. It's changed through repetition of truth. 4. Release, letting the old timeline die. This is the hardest part. You must allow certain things to fall away. Old friendships. Old habits. Old dreams. Old patterns. Old versions of yourself. Not out of anger. Out of alignment. Say quietly. I release the version of me that no longer resonates. And the universe listens. 5. Awareness, watch the signs multiply. As you shift, reality shifts with you. Watch the synchronicities grow. Watch people respond differently. Watch your intuition sharpen. Watch doors open that were once invisible. You're not manifesting. You're aligning. Transformation doesn't arrive like thunder. It arrives like dawn, slowly, quietly, then all at once. One day you wake up and realize. You no longer crave the things you used to crave. You no longer tolerate what drained you. You no longer shrink yourself to fit old spaces. You speak differently. You think differently. You move differently. Your energy feels heavier, yet clearer. Your presence feels quieter, yet stronger. This is the moment your new timeline stabilizes. Life begins showing you reflections of your new identity. A stranger says something that feels meant for you. An opportunity appears exactly when you needed it. A conversation pushes you forward in ways you never expected. Your intuition becomes louder than your fears. Your desires become clearer than your doubts. Let me share a quiet transformation. There was a woman who spent years trying to fix her life. She read books, made plans, set goals. But nothing changed. One night, she sat in stillness and whispered, "I am ready to become the version of me that already exists." She didn't know what that meant, but the universe did. She started making small choices aligned with peace instead of fear. She created space for solitude. She stopped forcing relationships. She stopped apologizing for her sensitivity. She began listening to the quiet voice inside her. And slowly, her life rearranged itself around her new identity. Your transformation will follow the same pattern. Not dramatic. Not chaotic. Just inevitable. Because when your inner frequency stabilizes, the external world has no choice but to shift. Now that you understand the shift. Now that you feel the signs. Now that the misalignment makes sense. You must face the truth. You didn't stop fitting in. You started waking up. The mission ahead of you is simple, but sacred. 1. Honor the shift. Don't ignore the signs. Don't shrink back into comfort. Don't apologize for your evolution. 2. Trust your intuition. Your higher self is guiding you. Softly. Quietly. Patiently. Listen. 3. Step into the timeline that matches your energy. Opportunities will appear. Connections will form. Paths will open. Walk through them. 4. Become a beacon for others. As you align, your presence awakens others. Your calm inspires them. Your transformation becomes permission for their own. 5. Protect your energy. Your old world may resist your growth. But you must protect the new frequency you've cultivated. If you felt disconnected, if you felt distant, if you felt like you no longer belong, this is your confirmation. You are not fading. You are awakening. Your new timeline is waiting. Step into it. If this message resonated with you, like the video, subscribe, and comment below. I am ready for my new timeline. Your transformation has already begun. Now, step into who you were always meant to become.